in terms of what went down in the ring, I thought maybe you could argue that Derek Chisora won the first round if you're trying to be generous. He came out, he was throwing early, he landed a few shots. He looked like he had some energy about him. But he didn't win the first round. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to really be generous, rounds 2 through 10, you could have just hit, copy paste.
Yes, Ring Kings podcast is back. We are right back. We told y'all we're gonna give you some bonus. Okay, we're gonna give you all some bonus episodes here to make up for last week. Our bad. All right, our bad. All right, we had some things going on. You know how it is, man. Holidays, family. You know how it is. Well, we back now. Okay, we back on our grind. We got some content for y'all. All right, but if it is your first time listening, if you're listening on an audio podcast, make sure you go ahead and just drop the 5-star review right now before you even start listening to this thing. We promise you, we're good for it. Okay, hit that 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. You already know you already know the content is dope. You like that fire intro? You liked it? Okay, hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Okay, look, I am Jose. To my I guess to the right of me on the screen. If you look on the screen, to my right of me, Brodny. And right below us is Mr. OTR Mike. Gentlemen, what is going on? Now all I want to
Mike did the sign like he was about to drop something profound on us. I'll try to get out of his way. No, not a whole lot going on tonight. We get ready to check out this Chocolatito fight after we record here.
Yeah.
After we talk about the colossal waste of time that happened over in England.
That's what we're here for.
We're not gonna call it that, B. We're not gonna call it that.
I'm pretty sure I just did.
We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it a last payday for my mate or friend or whatever he want to call him, or homeboy, whatever. Good lookout. Like, man, look, take this money and ride off to the sunset. That's what we're gonna call that.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. I mean, that's what it felt like going on. And we're talking about Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora, right? Part 3. I mean, the fight nobody asked for except for Derek Chisora, right? And Tyson Fury, like I said, I feel like they're good friends. I mean, right after the fight, the fight got stopped. The spoiler alert, Tyson Fury wins in the 10th round. He goes right over there, hugs him, gives him like 1,000 kisses, says he loves him. I think that's just his good friend. And I think Chisora, he said, look, he's almost done. I think he's looking for one last payday. He asked Tyson Fury, hey, do a solid for me. And Tyson Fury said, you got it, man.
Yeah, the announcers made sure that they threw a lot of praise on Tyson Fury for giving Derek Chisora another payday after he didn't get the Usyk or Joshua fights done. But yeah, in terms of what went down in the ring, I thought maybe you could argue that Derek Chisora won the first round if you're trying to be generous. He came out, he was throwing early, he landed a few shots. He looked like he had some energy about him. But he didn't win the first round. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to really be generous, rounds 2 through 10, you could have just hit, copy paste. Tyson Fury just put a beating on him. The one thing I don't like in these kind of fights is when you have two guys who are obviously fighting different styles, right? Like Fury for the most part was staying outside. He got the 85-inch reach, 11-inch reach advantage over Chisora. So I mean, he was landing bombs from the outside, right? He kept his jab in his face. He was landing uppercuts and straight rights because Chisora refuses to do anything but duck straight down. But when Chisora would get inside, and he would try to go to Fury's body, try to throw his overhand right, Fury would tie him up, and the refs just kind of let him do it. Like he would break him up after a little bit, but like you're not really allowed to do that. Like you can't just constantly wrap a guy up and hold him just because he gets to the inside. Now I just don't like it when referees their referee gets in the way of a fighter fighting the style that they're trying to fight. Chisora's trying to get on the inside, and Fury's just wrapping him up, and the ref is like, "No, that's fine. You just don't get to fight on the inside tonight." So that I didn't appreciate, but I don't think it didn't really make any difference. In the fight. I mean, he was going to lose anyway, and that's what he was there for. So.
One of those fights. I mean, obviously, when it was announced, nobody was excited about. We would have almost taken anybody, but seeing a third installment of this one, but it happened, and Fury came out victorious. He did say, he did call out Usyk at the end, and he also did say that he has an injury that he'll have surgery on before he fights Usyk. I don't know if you guys heard that. Something
I didn't hear that. No,
I don't know if it's an elbow or forearm injury or something like that he's had lingering. He said, and so he'll have some surgery, and then hopefully we get to see him and Usyk. So
because this had strong "didn't we just do this" vibes. It was exactly like the Dillian White fight, and there was just no point to it. I'll say this: Usyk was there as he's at every fight because this is all that man knows. But you're getting a glimpse into Usyk's a smaller heavyweight, right? Having moved up, and you kind of look at Fury. He's 6'8", 6'9", wherever he is, and he can come in. I mean, essentially at whatever weight he wants, right? And that is going to be the issue for Usyk. He saw that tonight. He was able to just push around Chisora, lean on him, and keep him on the outside when he wanted to. He's able to land anything. You saw a similar dynamic, obviously not the same skill level, but a similar dynamic with Greg Hardy and Hasim Rahman Jr., where Rahman was the more skilled boxer, but Greg Hardy outweighed him by 100 pounds. And so when he landed, it was devastating, and eventually, Rahman just couldn't stand up to it anymore. And you kind of think that, that's got to be going through Usyk's mind, right? Like, okay, I beat Joshua twice. I know I'm the more skilled fighter than Tyson Fury, but what is going to happen when he starts landing? But it doesn't seem like it's going through his mind because I've never seen anybody look as unbothered as Oleksandr Usyk.
Usyk is always dressed like his night is going to go like this. We're going to watch a fight, and then we're going to go to the club.
and maybe we're going to fight. But
or I came from the club to watch the fight, and then I'm going back to the club. Like he always looks like he is. I mean, he's going to have a fun night.
Yeah.
But yes, he goes to every combat sporting event. He might be at this UFC event.
He's at a lot. He is at a lot of fights, man. He really is. I don't know if that's a part of his press tour to get him in front of more cameras, or he just really enjoys hanging out. But
I think, well, I'm not sure if you saw earlier, but there was a Ukrainian fighter fighting.
Okay.
On the undercard. I think he supports all Ukrainian fighters. There's been a few of them out there. Obviously with Lomachenko, I think they train together. I'm not 100% sure, but I did see that because he came out in the Ukrainian military gear. I can't remember if he won a fight or not, but I think he goes there to support, his countrymen, and that's commendable.
Right.
But I mean, he outside of that, he probably goes anyway, right? He just loves boxing, especially if it's heavyweight. Now, speaking of heavyweight, the future of the heavyweight, Daniel Dubois. He had a little trouble today, guys. Now he got out of it. He won. It was a third round knockout. But some were wondering, should he gotten out of the first round? The man was knocked down 3 times in the first round, and the bell appeared to ring with about 9 seconds left in the round. And he looked like I don't know, 9 seconds. You could say maybe he would survive, but he looked like he was ready to go. Somehow he got together, and that third round he legit put that man away, right? Clearly he needs some work, right? Clearly he needs some work. But does this scare you guys about the future of the heavyweight for Daniel Dubois? Like, what does this mean for him? Does this mean he's toast? Is this just a nothing burger and he can get back on track? What say you fellas?
Who knows, man? Like, he's one of those hit or miss guys, right? I think he's a talented guy, but not quite living up to it, I guess, or the expectation of it. I don't know. I really don't know what his expectation was for that division. It's one of those divisions that's dying for another solid to good to star fighter, because they all kind of seem to be. I mean, let's be honest. Like, how long is Fury going to keep going, right? Usyk is fighting heavyweight undersized though, right? And he's saying, I mean, he's pretty much hinted at like, yeah, I ain't gonna keep doing this much longer.
He's old.
Yeah. And then Joshua is Joshua, right? He's another one who we was hoping to be, who looks the part, but took a couple L's. And then Wilder, right? Wilder, who is back. But Wilder also is an older heavyweight guy. And then you got the Andy Ruiz and Jared Baby Anderson. Those, he's a younger guy that hopefully will ascend to stardom. But I don't know if he fell into that side of it. Like one of those guys that they was hoping to be, one of the guys that could take over the division or the next in line guys. But he won. I mean, he got, it wasn't great fashion the way it started for him, but I mean, he won in great fashion. So I guess that keeps him. One thing about this sport, especially the heavyweight division, you knocking cats out, they're gonna keep calling your phone, right?
Yes.
So he won by knockout, and so he'll get another call. He'll get another chance to keep proving whether he is a true prospect in the division or not.
Yeah, and getting dropped as a heavyweight, man, like this. Listen, anybody can get dropped. Anybody, right? Like that. Those are some big boys. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I'll tell you what, though, those 3 drops, they ain't look good. He definitely got exposed on some things, but like I said, man, he has time. He has time, right? Yes, the heavyweight division is about to clean out pretty soon. These guys are going to retire, and then we'll see what the next batch of young fighters coming up. Let's see what they do with it. Dubois isn't ready yet, obviously, but like you said, he pulled out the win, and he obviously has some things he can work on, and we'll see on this next fight. But look, you mentioned Jay Big Baby Anderson. He looks legit. But even with him, I would still say he's not there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not ready yet. Dubois, I mean, I don't think it's a matter of him not being ready yet. He's 25. He's a champion. He's been knocked out already by Joe Joyce. He's a bridge champ. Fury and Wilder. I'm not even sure you can call him a bridge champ because Anthony Joshua's not that old.
Yeah.
So like the 3 or 4 guys there at the top, they'll be gone, and you're waiting for the next group of heavyweights to try to start to rise to the top, and Dubois will just be around. I mean, he's not a guy that you're going to be taking seriously in the heavyweight division, really. But he's an entertaining enough fighter, and he'll have a nice long career for himself if he wants it. Jared Anderson is the guy that a lot of people have kind of tabbed as the next big thing in the heavyweight division, including Tyson Fury himself. He sparred with Tyson Fury a few times, but yeah, he's still working his way up. He's not even fighting 12 rounders yet. So yeah, there's going to be a little gap, But the other divisions in boxing will be able to kind of carry it. There's a ton of talent down in the lower weight divisions. So boxing will be just fine until that next crop of heavyweights comes up.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was short and sweet because there wasn't
not much to talk about, right?
There wasn't much to talk about. So I mean, look, the next fight for Fury, he said it's Usyk, and we'll wait to see how long it takes for that fight to materialize. And yeah, we just gotta wait and see. Other potential heavyweight fights, I don't even know. I mean, I'm not sure what Wilder's going to do next. I'm not sure what Joshua's going to do next.
So it was talks of Wilder and Ruiz. I think they were mandatories, but it seems like Wilder. The last I've heard, Wilder wants to skip that. He wants to go right at Joshua. So,
and the announcers were talking about an eventual Fury Wilder 4.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
And listen, not that I wouldn't watch it. The Fury is a great entertainer, and those fights are very entertaining.
So is Wilder.
Yeah, and it's just I don't like the way they talk about Tyson Fury as like this all-time great heavyweight, because who's he beaten?
Wilder.
That's it. He beat an old Vladimir Klitschko, and he's beaten Deontay Wilder a couple times, and lost to him once, mind you. I mean, I know that's not how it went down officially, but Wilder put him to sleep.
Yeah.
So if you go out there and you beat Usyk, you get respect for that for sure. Usyk is extremely talented, but as of this moment, I don't care if you beat Derek Chisora for the third time.
Let me see. I've never looked at Tyson's box rec.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Klitschko.
And it's not really his fault, obviously. I mean, there aren't any other great heavyweights, but the other guys that are out there, Anthony Joshua, you haven't fought him. Usyk, you haven't fought him yet. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's it.
So the first Chisora fight was in 2011.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. 11 years later.
2014, and then now Klitschko. So Klitschko, old Klitschko, Wilder, Otto Wallet, I guess. I don't know if you want to.
No.
That's it.
Wilder, Dillian White. Yeah. Guess you're right.
So yeah, I mean,
Wilder was that win that kind of propelled him, you could say.
Yeah. And that's that ESPN media machine hyping him up, right? The same thing they try to do with Lomachenko. The same thing they will do with Lomachenko if he beats Devin Haney. They did the same thing with him. Right?
That's why they always talk about his lineal championship, because they don't have anything else to say for him.
Yeah, and listen, I like Fury. Like you guys say, he's an entertaining guy. He knows how to sell a fight. I'll give him that. It is. I just think the division is, and I'm not, take this with a grain of salt, listeners, but the division is just so hungry for a star, like I said before, and I think he came around at the right time. He beat Wilder at the right time, and he's taking full advantage of it. He's getting paid a heck of a ton of money to do what he's doing. It's looking like him and Usyk. I'm hearing that might be $65 million a pop.
What?
Yeah. So even he said it. Like what kind of he calls him a S head. He calls Usyk a S head. He said what kind of S head would turn down $65 million. So
right.
Hey, props to him for doing what he did at the right time, right place, right time. But I'm not sure if I want to see him and Wilder again. It's depending on what happens with Joshua and Wilder. If they fight, we probably will see it, depending on what happens again with Usyk and Fury. But I'm not pressed to see it, especially not right now. Look, it's only one person I want to see a Fury fight right now, and that's Usyk. And then, or maybe Joshua. I wouldn't mind seeing. So 2 fights, okay, either Joshua or Usyk, but I would rather it be Usyk right now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd rather see Wilder fight Joshua. But I guess Andy Ruiz is one of I like Andy Ruiz. Him and Wilder wouldn't be a bad fight. But yeah, man, that look, Wilder and Joshua would be great for the sport, and then Usyk and Fury, and then the winners fight each other, and then the losers fight each other. Whatever, who cares? Just make some of these fights
that's
happen.
the problem. There's only 4 fighters in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, but there's still some fights to be made because, like you said, like fight Usyk, you know, a fight with Joshua, right? And then, you know, Wilder and Joshua, like these are fights that we've been waiting to see forever that haven't happened yet. So there are still some fights that can happen, but man, the clock is ticking. These guys are old.
Yeah, man, we gotta make it happen.
So I mean, there has to be a sense of urgency to get these fights done, if they want. And for all these fights that we mentioned, they're all going to be 65, 70 mil a pop, right? Like they're all going to like. So I mean, there's so much money on the table for these guys that they wanted, you know. But how many $70 million do you need, right?
All of them.
All of them, right?
I mean, we saying that now, but you know, if I had $70 million in my bank account, I may not be as motivated. You know, I could do a lot
until somebody tells you can have 140.
Yeah.
Then you like, wait, all I do is gotta do that again.
Like that's twice as much.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. We're not going to keep everybody long on this one. All right. That's just something to be on the lookout for. Like I'm not gonna call this one a snoozer. You know, there's the undercard was solid, a couple of knockouts. So yeah, it is what it is. It definitely wasn't pay-per-view worthy, and it wasn't. It was free, or it was on ESPN Plus if you have that. So all right, we'll leave it at that. You guys have any parting shots?
Get your boy a payday, man. Shout out to Fury.
Payday.
Nah, look, make these. I just said it. Make these next couple fights happen. I'm sick. We have a. Oh, I don't think we released it yet, but you know, shout out like we said before. Shout out to the ladies. The ladies make the fights happen, right?
Yeah.
So the guys need to start taking heed to that, man, and make these fights happen. Or the ladies, they're gonna take y'all place because those fights and those cards be dope cards, right? And people are tuning in. The numbers are showing well. So man, people are just gonna start. They're not gonna pay no attention to y'all. Y'all not making the fights happen. The ladies get in the ring with whoever they put there. The top ladies fighting each other. So make these fights happen, man. End of the day.
There you go. You got anything, B?
Yeah, I mean, look, I said at the beginning, this is a complete waste of time. Don't support these kind of fights. Hashtag no tune-ups. If you see Tyson Fury talking about I'm gonna fight Dillian White again, tell him to go screw himself, and you're gonna watch something else.
Hey, well said. Well said.
Right.
Don't support bad fights. Don't support money grabs. Demand the fights that you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, congratulations to Derek Chisora. He's a real winner here. He got his money. Okay. He went in there with no expectations and met those expectations and got and got his check, and he's gonna ride off into the sunset. Seriously, congratulations to Derek Chisora for getting that payday, man. Happy for him, but I don't want to see that ever again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is it. Hope you enjoyed that bonus episode. If you're listening on our podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ring Kings Pod. And you know what? My bad. Last couple episodes, I haven't been promoting it, but right above me and B, patreon.com/LBHTShow. Okay. That's how you can support this show. And we can support this show. And if you're really generous, if you're a real big sports fan, you can support this channel and our other channel, Lunch Break Hot Take. That's where the LBHT show comes from. That's the parent company, if you will. All right. But we have 3 tiers, $3 tier, $10 tier, and a $20 tier. You guys go ahead and check that out. And yeah, everything that you put into the show goes right back to the show. So thank you all for listening. B, are you ready?
Always ready.
B is ready. Y'all take it easy. Enjoy your week. And we will see you next time. Peace. Things that you